So, the Neos Smartcam costs only £30. £30 I hear you say? That's the equivalent of about $40 in the US. How can such a cam cost so little, and yet is it going to be any good? Well, it's time to explore this during this review. What we're going to see is how it works, how big it is, and exactly how the app works on yet another episode of FB 4K Tech. Right, let's get to it. No unboxing, no nothing, just simply the camera. Look at this tiny little box. Look at the size of my thumb in comparison to it. There's two ports at the back, one for charging and one for updates, and simply the camera at the front. The sides are non-obtrusive, yes, again I've used that word, and at the bottom there's a magnetic circle that you can use to mount to other surfaces. The top is very clear, and there's a little kickstand that's adjustable at multiple different angles. There's a little reset button over the bottom. If we put a ruler up against it, roughly 5 centimeters in length, 6 if you add on the stand. This is literally a cube that's 5 by 5 by 5. Very discreet and very sleek looking. Here's a close-up. Having a look at the actual camera itself, you can see there's two modules, one for the infrared sensor and one for the actual camera. A quick spin round shows you all the other sides, and it covers the back and the base, and there's two sockets at the back. This is the camera perched up on the table, and here's the cable that comes with it to go onto the table. Very long extension cable there that you can use to power the camera. It needs to be constantly plugged in as there's no battery for this. Yes, this is micro USB, there's no USB Type-C here, but that's fine because you're essentially going to plug this into one thing only, and that's the power outlet. A micro USB, it's as straightforward as just inserting it, and once it's in, it's tightly fit with no wiggle room. The other end is a simple USB Type A, and it'll get plugged into an adapter. Now I bought this Anker adapter that's from Amazon UK, and you can plug in two devices at the same time. Any device can be charged, and it charges up depending on the capacity of the device at an appropriate rate. And you can see here that the output is 5 volts, 2.4 amp. Pretty good, and I think it covers the majority of devices, and it certainly covers this. It's very non-discrete and it matches the camera really well. There's a link in the description below. It's about the same size as the camera itself, so it'll go very nicely alongside or down below. Now let's take a look at the app. The Neos app is fairly easy to install, once again available on Apple and Android, and you simply set it up by adding your camera. The camera is detected on a 2.4 GHz network, so this was a little bit of a struggle because I couldn't initially work out how to activate that on my router. If you Google your router, you'll find simple instructions on how to activate both Wi-Fi. Here's a live stream. Look at the garden back there. Zooming in, reasonable quality. It's a 1080p camera, but it continues to record in the background, provided you pay a small subscription fee. You can plug in a micro SD card. What's very handy is you can go back to any calendar date, either backwards or forwards, and you can recall all the videos that have been recorded at that point. There's an auto-arming facility, and you can simply use that when you leave the house so that the device knows to keep an eye out for any baddies. The biometric authentication is very straightforward if you've got a fingerprint reader, otherwise face recognition will work to activate the app. And you can go through all the settings here. You can see many different parts of the software license, about the device itself, and you can start by upgrading to Neos Boost, as I said, a small fee of $2.49 a month, which allows you to record multiple hours across several different time points, and then you can go back and scroll through these and you can schedule it to security settings. One thing I find very handy indeed is the night vision. and you can see that here. You can have it on auto, always on or always off. There's a little light that you can use to tell you when the device is active, and you can increase the sensitivity of the motion detection and noise detection. There are speakers built into this camera, so you can hear people and they can hear you, so it could be used as a baby monitor. I tend to use it to monitor the back garden. There is a motion tagging facility which is fairly straightforward to turn on or off, and the Smartcam will by default detect motion unless you turn it off. Here's just a quick run through of all the different information modules on each of the settings. The app itself can take a little bit of time to open, and sometimes you get the oops, something is wrong, but usually on the whole it works very well, and certainly when it comes to live streaming and zooming in and out you can see a reasonable amount of detail, and this is all recorded in real time. It's fairly clear, isn't it? 1080p recording, direct streaming to your mobile or any other device. So, what do I think of the Neos Smartcam? Is it worth the purchase? Absolutely, I could not recommend this anymore, especially given the amazing price point that it's set at. $23.99 on Amazon today in the UK store, reduced from $29.99. So for £30 or even less, you can get a fantastic camera for your security needs. If you've enjoyed this video, hit like and subscribe, and I'll see you on the next one.